In a world constantly pulling us in different directions, where distractions are endless and instant gratification is the norm, how do we develop the self-discipline to stay focused on what truly matters? The answer might be found in wisdom that survived for nearly 2,000 years. I'm talking about Stoicism, and specifically the practical principles left to us by Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. Today, we're exploring 10 powerful Stoic principles that can transform your self-discipline. These aren't abstract theories. They're practical tools that have helped countless people navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and purpose. Whether you're struggling with procrastination, emotional regulation, or simply finding direction in life, these timeless principles offer a proven path forward. The first principle is finding your purpose. For Marcus Aurelius, self-discipline wasn't about rigid control. It was about aligning your actions with what truly matters. When you have a clear purpose, discipline becomes easier because your actions have meaning. You're not just following rules, you're pursuing something valuable. In his meditations, Marcus wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." This simple reminder connects our daily actions to our deeper purpose. Ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? What values do you want to embody? When you clarify your purpose, you create a compass for your decisions. Try this practice. Begin each morning by reflecting on your core values. Ask yourself, what am I meant to do today? And how can my actions serve my deeper purpose? This morning reflection sets the tone for intentional action rather than reactive behavior. The second principle is accepting what you cannot control. Marcus Aurelius understood that much of our struggle with self-discipline comes from wasting energy on things beyond our influence. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This distinction between what we can and cannot control is fundamental to Stoic practice. When we focus our energy exclusively on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we become more effective and less frustrated. The next time you feel your discipline wavering, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, practice acceptance. If yes, direct your full attention to it. This mental shift alone can dramatically improve your ability to stay disciplined in the face of challenges. The third principle is embracing discomfort. Marcus Aurelius didn't believe in avoiding difficulty. He saw it as essential for growth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, he wrote. This perspective transforms obstacles from barriers to opportunities for developing greater discipline. In practice, this means intentionally embracing small discomforts to build your discipline muscle. Take cold showers. Skip a meal occasionally. Wake up earlier than usual. These voluntary hardships train your mind to withstand discomfort, making it easier to maintain discipline when faced with life's inevitable challenges. Remember, comfort is the enemy of growth. By deliberately seeking out small discomforts, you prepare yourself for larger tests of will. The fourth principle is practicing present moment awareness. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of focusing on the now. Confine yourself to the present. When our minds wander to past regrets or future anxieties, our discipline suffers. We become disconnected from the task at hand. To strengthen your present moment awareness, try this. When engaged in any activity, fully immerse yourself in it. If you're working, work. If you're resting, rest. Notice when your mind begins to wander and gently bring it back to the present. This practice of mental presence builds the attention muscle that's essential for sustained discipline. The fifth principle is viewing challenges as training. Marcus Aurelius saw life's difficulties not as punishments, but as opportunities for practice. He wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, insofar as it stands ready against the accidental and the unforeseen, and is not apt to fall." This perspective transforms our relationship with challenges. When faced with a difficult task that requires discipline, remind yourself, this is my training ground. This is where I develop strength. Whether it's resisting the urge to check social media, continuing to exercise when you'd rather quit, or maintaining emotional composure in a heated situation, these are all opportunities to strengthen your discipline. Embrace them as such. The sixth principle is conducting regular self-examination. Marcus Aurelius practiced rigorous self-reflection, writing, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." This honest self-assessment is crucial for developing discipline because it creates accountability to yourself. Implement this by establishing an evening review practice. Before sleep, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did my discipline falter? What can I improve tomorrow? This creates a feedback loop for continuous growth. Be honest but not judgmental. The goal isn't to berate yourself for failures, but to learn from them. This regular self-examination builds self-awareness, which is the foundation of lasting discipline. The seventh principle is simplifying your life. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of Rome, valued simplicity. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This principle recognizes that complexity is the enemy of discipline. The more commitments, possessions, and distractions we have, the harder it is to maintain focus. Look at your life and ask, what can I eliminate? What is essential? Reduce your possessions. Decline unnecessary commitments. Simplify your digital life by removing distracting apps. Create environments that support your discipline rather than undermine it. Remember, every item you own and every commitment you make demands a portion of your attention. Choose wisely. The eighth principle is practicing gratitude. Marcus Aurelius began each day by expressing gratitude, writing, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This practice might seem unrelated to discipline, but it's actually foundational. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. This contentment reduces the impulsive behaviors that often derail discipline. When we're grateful, we're less likely to seek escape through distraction or instant gratification. Try starting each day by noting 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice creates a foundation of sufficiency that supports disciplined action. The ninth principle is remembering your mortality. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of life's brevity. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This memento mori, remember death, practice isn't morbid, it's clarifying. When we acknowledge our limited time, we become more discerning about how we spend it. Ask yourself, if I had 1 year left to live, would I continue with my current priorities? This perspective cuts through distraction and helps us focus on what truly matters. When tempted to procrastinate or abandon your discipline, remember, your time is finite. This awareness creates urgency that fuels commitment. The 10th and final principle is serving something greater than yourself. Marcus Aurelius believed that humans are social beings meant to contribute to the common good. He wrote, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." This principle connects individual discipline to a larger purpose. When our discipline serves only ourselves, it's easier to abandon when things get difficult. But when our self-discipline contributes to something greater, our family, community, or humanity, we find deeper motivation. Ask yourself, how does my discipline serve others? Perhaps your health discipline allows you to be more present for your children. Maybe your work discipline creates value for your community. Connecting your personal discipline to service creates sustainable motivation. These 10 principles from Marcus Aurelius offer more than just self-discipline techniques. They provide a complete philosophy for living with purpose and resilience. The beauty of Stoicism is that it doesn't require special equipment or circumstances. These practices can be implemented anywhere, anytime, by anyone seeking to live with greater intention. As Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Start small. Choose one principle that resonates with you and practice it consistently. Over time, you'll develop the kind of self-discipline that isn't rigid or forced, but flows naturally from your deepest values. It's worth noting that Marcus Aurelius never intended his writings to be published. The meditations were personal notes to himself, reminders of how to live well. This reveals something profound about true discipline. It's not about impressing others or adhering to external standards. It's about living in alignment with your own highest principles, even when no one is watching. In our modern world of constant distraction and instant gratification, these ancient principles are more relevant than ever. They remind us that self-discipline isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. The freedom to choose what matters over what's merely urgent. The freedom to act according to your values rather than impulses. The freedom to build a life of meaning rather than one of momentary pleasure. As you implement these principles, remember that perfection isn't the goal. Marcus Aurelius himself acknowledged his own struggles and imperfections. The path of discipline isn't linear. It's a practice we return to again and again, with patience and persistence. Each time we falter, we have the opportunity to begin again, wiser from the experience. Which of these principles resonates most with you? Perhaps it's finding your purpose, embracing discomfort, or remembering your mortality. Whatever speaks to you, begin there. Small, consistent actions build powerful momentum over time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the journey to masterful self-discipline begins with a single choice made with intention. Remember that true freedom comes not from doing whatever you want, but from having the discipline to do what truly matters. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Choose thoughts that serve your highest purpose, and let your actions follow. This is the essence of Stoic self-discipline, and it's available to each of us today.